It all started during a recent gathering where the entire cast of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, had come together. The atmosphere was already tense because unresolved issues were hanging in the air. Stormi walked into the room with a calm face, but anyone who paid close attention could see that she was carrying the weight of unspoken feelings. The energy was thick, conversations were short, and small glances between cast members said more than words. Everyone knew that a storm was brewing, but no one could predict that it would be Stormi herself who would end up at the center of it all. The situation, which seemed like just another group discussion, slowly began turning into a moment that would leave everyone completely speechless. As the conversation started, things seemed normal at first, but soon it took a sharp turn. One of the cast members questioned Stormi's loyalty, hinting that she wasn't truly supportive of the group and only looked out for herself. At first, Stormi tried to keep her composure. She responded calmly, with a steady voice, making it clear that she didn't want unnecessary drama. But the questions didn't stop there. The same cast member kept pushing, throwing sharp comments and doubting her intentions. With every word, the tension in the room grew heavier. Other people in the group fell silent, sensing that something was about to break. Stormi's smile faded, and her silence spoke louder than anything else. It was clear that she was being cornered, and no matter how hard she tried to stay strong, the pressure was becoming too much to handle. The breaking point came suddenly, catching everyone off guard. Stormi's voice trembled as she tried to speak, but her words were drowned by the emotions she had been holding back for so long. Within moments, tears rolled down her face, and the entire room went silent. She opened up in a way no one had ever seen before. Stormi admitted how deeply hurt she felt by the constant judgment and lack of support. She shared that behind her strong personality, she was dealing with struggles no one knew about, lonely nights, private battles, and the weight of always being misunderstood. Her words were raw, filled with pain that could not be faked. For the first time, Stormi wasn't the confident woman everyone saw on camera. She was vulnerable, broken, and desperately trying to be heard. The room that was once buzzing with whispers now felt frozen in shock. Everyone was left speechless, unsure of how to react to such honesty. The room was heavy with silence after Stormi's words. Some of the cast members lowered their eyes, realizing they had pushed her far beyond her limit. A few of them looked genuinely shaken, unable to believe that the woman they often saw as strong and unshaken was breaking down right in front of them. One or two whispered softly, almost as if they wanted to comfort her, but didn't know how to step forward. On the other hand, not everyone showed sympathy. A couple of cast members crossed their arms, keeping their faces hard and distant, as if they were unwilling to accept her vulnerability. Their coldness made the moment even more tense. The contrast between silent guilt and quiet judgment filled the space, and no one dared to speak loudly. For once, it wasn't about arguments or winning a point. It was about the raw truth that Stormi had just laid bare. The moment Stormi broke down, the entire room froze. For a few seconds, no one even dared to move, as if her pain had sucked the air out of the space. Some cast members exchanged uncomfortable glances, their earlier boldness suddenly replaced with guilt. A few lowered their heads, quietly regretting the harsh words they had thrown at her. One or two even shifted uneasily in their seats, clearly battling between wanting to comfort her and holding back because of pride or fear of being seen as weak. But not everyone softened. There were a couple of faces that stayed cold, almost unmoved, as though Stormi's tears didn't mean much to them. Their folded arms and stiff posture showed they were still holding on to their judgment, unwilling to acknowledge that their words had cut so deeply. This lack of empathy made the atmosphere even heavier, dividing the room between those who felt sympathy and those who remained distant. Meanwhile, the silence was deafening. No one raised their voice, no one interrupted. Even the usual whispering and side comments were gone. For once, Every single person in the room was forced to confront the reality of Stormi's emotions. What had started as just another heated exchange had now become something far bigger, a moment that peeled back the surface drama and revealed real human pain. The cast members who once saw Stormi only as strong and outspoken now realized there was a fragile side to her that she rarely showed. It was a moment of truth that none of them were prepared to face. After Stormi walked out of the gathering, the silence she left behind spoke louder than any argument. The room felt unsettled, as though everyone was still processing what had just happened. Slowly, conversations began again, but this time they were whispered, filled with tension and second-guessing. Some cast members expressed quiet regret, admitting to each other that maybe they had gone too far and failed to notice how much pain she was really in. A few even confessed that they saw a completely different side of Stormi that they had never expected. But not everyone shared that sympathy. There were still those who rolled their eyes, suggesting her breakdown was just another tactic to gain attention and shift the narrative in her favor. This difference in opinions created even more division among the group, fueling private conversations and quiet judgments. Outside of that room, the moment quickly became the center of discussion. Whispers about Stormi's emotional outbursts spread like wildfire, and people began debating whether her tears were genuine or strategic. What was certain, though, was that nothing about that night could be erased or forgotten. Stormi's breakdown had changed the dynamics in a way that no one could reverse. Friendships were tested, alliances were questioned, and every cast member knew that the incident would follow them into the next chapter of their story. In the days that followed, Stormi's emotional breakdown continued to echo through every corner of the LAMH circle. For fans watching from the outside, it became one of the most talked-about moments of the season. Many sympathized with her, saying that her tears proved she was human, carrying more pain than anyone realized. Others questioned whether she had revealed too much, wondering if her vulnerability would be seen as weakness in a world where strength is often used as a shield. Within the cast itself, the event left a permanent mark. Some members started to look at Stormi differently, showing a bit more care and caution in how they spoke to her, while others held onto their skepticism, refusing to believe her emotions were real. But one thing was undeniable: Stormi's breakdown changed the narrative. What began as just another heated exchange turned into a turning point, forcing everyone to confront the reality behind the drama. It reminded the group and the viewers that behind every sharp word and bold stance, there are real people with real struggles. The question that remained was whether this vulnerable moment would heal broken relationships or deepen the cracks that already existed. Either way, Stormi's breakdown would be remembered as a defining moment, one that left everyone speechless and reshaped the path of the story moving forward.